So what my fave Beyonce said, she said top 2 and she ain't number 2. Can't stop scrolling. Hopefully you all know by now that my ass is just joking, okay? It is a beautiful moment in music industry history. Let's all gather around for our talented faves who are fighting over the #1 spot. And honestly, it really wasn't our faves fighting over the spots, it was the stands. Like I said on Twitter, I'm not going to be pressed about no chart position, especially if my fave is certainly, clearly not pressed about that shit either. But I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later, but before I get into it, I need to speak about Insecure just for one moment. If you are not, listen to what I'm saying. If you are not signed up to patreon.com/AdrianExpression, patreon.com/AdrianExpression, you definitely need to, because on Tuesday, we're gonna be breaking down this episode in a podcast. We're gonna be breaking down the latest episode of Insecure in a podcast because Molly sis, listen, Molly sis, Molly, girl. Now, of course, I tried to give my good sis the benefit of the doubt, and I've been saying that Issa has definitely not been perfect in how they approach this friendship, but the way that Molly selfishly went off during Issa's event, it's like, sis Molly, you have everything you want. You got a relationship now that you only have because of Issa. You have all this money and this coin. You have a cute job. What is it that's causing you so much insecurity, boo? We really gonna have to talk about it. She tried to act like it was this whole thing with Andrew. It's like, no girl, you made up this rule. Oh, don't talk to my man while your friend needs help. I understand, like I said, Issa has not been perfect. But the way that Molly did this shit, it was just completely uncalled for. I'm gonna break it down on patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Every Tuesday I release a podcast episode, and in the first half we break down the Insecure episode, so you definitely want to check that out. So since we're on the topic of Insecure, I just want to speak really quickly about what Amanda Seales has said. Now, I know that a lot of times, at least to me, Amanda can be a little bit annoying, but a lot of the shit that she's been saying recently, I'm like, she didn't lie. This is telling the truth. So she went on Instagram, she did like a funny remix to Teddy Pendergrass's Turn Off the Lights, but she renamed it Turn On the Comments, and this was in response to she said specifically white artists like Justin Timberlake who make these posts about Ahmaud Arbery and they turn off their comments. She was coming from a place of like, girl, we've been doing all types of work. Now it's time for y'all to see who's in y'all fan bases and filter it out and have these hard conversations. If you think you want to be posting about Ahmaud Arbery, like, just don't throw up a picture, turn off the comments, and pat yourself on the back. And I agree with her. It's kind of the same thing where non-black people won't do the actual work. And by work, I mean like literally having the hard conversations with your racist ass family members, friends, co-workers, all of that shit. Like, they won't do that, but they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm running for Ahmaud Arbery. I'm gonna run my miles, make myself feel good and sit my ass down. It's just like, if real change is your actual goal, then just doing things that make you feel good is not really going to amount to anything. Like, what are you actually doing or saying? What are you actually trying to get people to understand? So in that vein, I understand. I completely agree with what Amanda Seales is saying. I don't know what 2020 is giving, but the fact that my ass is over here continuously agreeing with everything that Amanda Seales is saying, you know, we're living in an alternate reality, okay? As you know, Mother's Day weekend just passed, and it was great to be in contact with my mom, my grandma, with their beautiful souls. You can definitely say I got my mouth and my anxiety from them. I love them so much. And if you're seeing this, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers. And I'm keeping in my thoughts all of you who are missing a mother, all of you who want desperately to be mothers, or mothers who have lost their children, definitely keeping you all in my thoughts. But let's sprinkle on some comedy to this. Future was also participating in wishing everybody a happy Mother's Day, and it seemed like it was a never-ending stream, letting them know that he appreciates what they do and who they are. Thank you, Future, for taking out the time to do this. Now, no shade, I don't know how Future keeps track. I don't know if he has some type of planner to I don't know if he keeps a bulletin board up in his room to keep track of all the ladies who have been gracious enough to gift him with children, but I know that there has to be some kind of dedication going on over there. Speaking of dedication, there were 4 fan bases. The fan bases of Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Doja Cat, and Megan Thee Stallion, all battling. I'm telling you, it was like a scene from Winterfell when the Night King descended upon them trash ass, ungrateful ass, racist ass Northerners, okay? It was a battle scene for the past week on social media. These girls, and a lot of girls who claim, yeah girl, I don't care about charts, I don't care. They were over there with, pitchforks, Molotov cocktails, tearing shit up, trying to get their faves to #1. They were streaming. Some of them stands put the songs on repeat for 3 days, multiple days, to try and get their faves to #1, right? So me, like I said before, I do not, if my fave is sitting down and not doing any promotion, then she's gonna have to deal with the consequences of her actions. Blue Ivy's gonna have to take her ass into the conference room and let her client know, like, sis, you need to get your ass up here to do promotion. Now, that's a whole joke. I always joke around like that. Beyonce was actually testing people for COVID-19 while all this shit was going on. So it's like, I'm just joking around. Sis was obviously taking care of shit. But it is always so hilarious to see, because the stands really do be having a meltdown. It's like their phase going #1 really affects them as a person. Like, they really get pissed. I saw somebody saying, I got the address of Chart Data. That's a very prominent account on Twitter that lets everybody know the positions that the songs are on the charts. I saw one of the Hive members say, I got some information that can get Nicki Minaj arrested. I'm like, y'all gotta relax. It is just charts. It's just the #1. I promise you, your faves are rich as hell. They're good. But yeah, Beyonce's account was silent. Megan Thee Stallion was trying to push that shit all on her own. So I was like, you know what? I woke up today and everyone was saying that they're going to update the charts. So we're gonna find out who went #1. I was like, oh my God. I figured it would be Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj, and that's exactly what happened. A lot of people are just like, oh my God, they scammed their way up there. I don't know anything about them technicalities. Some of these stands could be real, like, industry employees, the way that they know so much about the streaming and shit like that. I don't really know too much about that shit. I'm just like, okay, well, the songs was good. I enjoyed it. It went #1 or not. But Nicki and Doja went #1. I think it's the first time in history that female rappers, like a collaboration between female rappers, has ever gone #1. So that's crazy. The fact that Megan Thee Stallion still went #2 and she had a whole collab with Beyonce is awesome as hell. It's just a really cool moment in music industry history in general, like all across the board. So I'm just happy for everybody ass. But the stands, some of them are ready to fight. Now, Doja did say that if she went #1, she would end up showing y'all her tatas, her titties, her tetas. And if you're wondering what's going on with that, here is what she said.
I'm not showing my boobs real hard, man. You got fucking played. Look at yourself.
So I want everyone to understand and also to pay attention. Chloe and Halle's Do It will be out on Friday. So guess what? That means we're going to be streaming. We're going to be supporting our talented, beautiful Black queens. We're going to be experiencing the joy of harmony done right, of vocals. I know that a lot of people may not be used to hearing actual vocals, real skill on a track, especially given the state of this music industry, but we're gonna do everything in support, okay? And speaking of support, if you want some extra support, Lady Gaga is apparently selling Chromatica jock straps. Now, if anyone knows her goddamn audience, it is Lady Gaga. As soon as this whole quarantine bullshit is over with and everything opens up, these queens are gonna be at these late night clubs in these Chromatica jock straps with a vodka soda in one hand and some poppers in the other. Sis is coming for y'all coin, okay? I woke up today never expecting to see something like Lady Gaga selling these girls jock straps, but it is the most perfect thing to have happen in recent times. Has this not happened before? I don't know why. If this has never happened before, I'm not sure why it hasn't, because that is literally so perfect for her audience. I was gonna say that all she's missing in order to really captivate some people who are, in her audience, all she's really missing is a shirt that says it's just a preference. But I decided not to say it. Erykah Badu and Jill Scott had this whole IG battle, and honestly, it wasn't even really a battle. It was just like everybody coming together and singing the hits. And you know it's Erykah and Jill, so you know it's filled with artistry and appreciation and energy exchange. And Erykah was basically saying it's all our responsibility to give each other, to give other artists a chance. It was just a beautiful moment. It's a very stark contrast between, you know, these types of IG battles, and I think also the one between T-Pain and Lil Jon. I thought that was just, it was just beautiful energy. It was just artists having fun. Very different contrast between them and some of the other ones I've seen. So if we could just keep up that spirit of positivity, that spirit of accepting other people's artistry and experiencing it while Miss Rona is on the streets running over our skulls with her pickup truck, that would be actually a beautiful thing. Speaking of something that is not beautiful, Boris Johnson, honey, let me tell you something. My people in the UK, and I tweeted about this a little bit, my people in the UK, I really feel for y'all because we're going through the same shit. And recently I've seen that Boris Johnson just made some speech and y'all were up there dragging, y'all were dragging his Cabbage Patch Kid in the scalp build, and y'all were dragging that needle in the haystack built ass hair that he has on his head, and it was so wonderful. It was therapeutic to see, only because we're going through the same bullshit. You know, New Zealand out here, I think her name is Prime Minister Ardern. They have a no bullshit approach, response to this whole coronavirus thing. I mean, even something as simple as people who are flying into New Zealand, they have to quarantine for 14 days before they can gallivant around the goddamn country. In places like Britain, that shit is not happening. You know, something as simple as that. But I just brought it up because I saw that he was making this speech and he was basically saying, y'all can go to work, but don't go to work. But if you have to go to work, go to work. But if you have to go to work, stay home before you make the decision to go to work, but still go to work. Don't use public transportation, but use it. Only use it if you have to. But even if you don't have to, you should still kind of use it. And our science data tells us a bunch of science from some science, sciencey science, journal science, data science. From the things that y'all were posting on social media and the memes and just making fun of him, from what I understand, that's basically what Boris Johnson was saying. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that y'all have to deal with it. I'm so sorry that y'all have to deal with that VeggieTales character at the, you know, height at the top of your government. I really, we're gonna make it. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. So to end this video, I will give you the only coronavirus update that I feel like I am capable of giving, especially after reading so much news and avoiding, honestly, so much news about it. This is a picture of individuals gathered in front of the Clearwater, Florida courthouse. Now, they are protesting the fact that gyms are closed. Now, it's about, I think, 30, 40 of them gathered around. So what they do is gather around, of course, be a petri dish for the virus, and then proceed to do push-ups and work out outside of the courthouse as a form of protest. Very interesting that they think that the way to make this statement is to show how they can actually work out without the gyms being open. You really hate to see flying American flags. Just the stupidity really jumps out. Anytime I see these people say, yeah, I'm real patriotic, I know to avoid they dumb, empty-headed asses, okay? On that note, make sure, like I said, make sure you check out patreon.com/AdrianExpression. We're gonna be talking about Insecure and many more topics that the patrons want me to discuss. I love you all so much. Stay safe and have a great week. Make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.